everybody. Welcome to Razor Radio, and that was Liar at Dawn by tonight's guest, Anshelm. We have Pyralis with us right now. What's up, dude? Tanner?
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen?
How we doing, man? Thanks for joining us. Andy, how you doing? Pyralis, how you doing, man?
Fantastic. It's been a long time, gentlemen. It's been too long.
Yeah. We missed you, dude, out here.
Busy too. Absolutely.
And you couldn't move any farther away than fucking Connecticut.
Exactly. The exact opposite of the country. No, it's different, man. I live in the countryside here in Eastern Connecticut now in a town called Plainfield. Population small. Not a whole lot going on. But on Sunday nights for a good while, there's a bar down the road called the Horsebrook. And Sunday nights they were having metal gigs.
Really?
I wasn't going, but I could hear it from like my deck. So it was pretty cool. So I would hang out, and listen to that. So it's I don't know. How is it over there lockdown wise?
It sucks.
Fuck.
I'm losing my sanity slowly. I mean, the last gig I got to go to was Mr. Bungle and Ross the Boss the same little week out there. And that was like February. And I don't know if you knew anything about me, but I went to a lot of metal shows.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been to one in almost fucking 9 months.
Yeah, the last show I caught Obituary up here in Worcester, Massachusetts in December. And that was pretty killer.
Obituary is which
oh yeah, it was like Slowly We Rot, like the whole album was fucking great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Pyralis, so what have you been up to? I know obviously after the move, but musically speaking, what have you guys been up to?
Musically, I mean, it's kind of just a lot of writing right now. I was kind of caught up with some personal things, so it took me away from music. And I don't know, like comparable to the guy from Weezer, like his story is interesting because he went to Harvard, right? So like I finished college, I started a new career, and with that, kind of writing little tidbits here and there and stuff like that. Sitting on this release for quite a while. And, I just figured now would be, a good as time as any to just kind of, pop out, surprise Black Friday, here's some new Anshelm music.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, talking about Weezer, you're talking about Rivers Cuomo, right?
Yes.
Definitely
a pretty influential guy. Yeah. I admire that story. Huh?
People don't think about this, but I read an article with him. I think it was Spin or something like that years ago. You know what his all-time favorite record is of all time?
What is it?
Rain and Blood.
Really? They're like a pretty good band. Like their lead guitar player has some like good fucking solos.
It's like you don't think Rivers Cuomo looking at him going and think Slayer. But
yeah. They're pretty for what they do. They're pretty. I don't know. They're pretty heavy for what they do. Little alt rock, college rock.
Well, I mean, that was hugely popular when I was a fucking,
exactly, yeah. Like when we were growing up, we were pretty close in age, yeah. And they're from LA, they're California, I mean, they're,
They got their hash pipe.
That's right,
they just look like Buddy Holly, so.
That's a great video, though. That's
a great video.
That's like scary. I had to ask my father. I was like, dude, what is this? And he's like, no, it's they do it with the computer. I was like, are you sure? Because like that's Happy Days, man. That's fucking.
Well, I mean, I would hate to end our Weezer talk, but I do want to stick to like what you guys are going on Anshelm wise. Talk a little bit about the single that we're gonna be hearing later on in the show.
So this is like the fruit of we released Through the Burning Glass. We toured twice.
Mm-hmm.
Played consistently. I think for maybe two shows, 3 shows a month at least for quite a while, and riding that wave, we kind of went into the studio like, all right, we've got a couple of songs that might be cool to just kind of do in the classic sense where you have a single and then you have a B-side. So we went to Holloway Productions. I think that's in Santa Fe Springs. It was a studio that we were rehearsing at like on a weekly basis. And we got to know the guy behind the desk, Aaron Holzberg, really, really nice guy. And he, was like, hey, anytime, you guys want to check out our studio and stuff like that, we have pretty decent rates. So we went in for a weekend, and we cut those 2 tracks, and it was pretty organic. I mean, the personnel, I mean, we really clicked. It was myself, Iblis, and Azog, and just really solid group, and we were able to bang it out, and I don't know, pretty proud with it. And then after that, Joel Grind was nice enough to master that for us. Thank you, Tanner, for that. Absolutely. And absolutely, with that being said, just a solid couple of tracks.
Now, how did you guys decide on what particular songs you wanted to release? Because from my understanding, you guys were going through kind of a bit of a turmoil around this particular era, so it's kind of awesome that like you got to record a couple more songs, and now it's finally being released. So how did you determine what songs you guys wanted to to record at this particular time in the band's career?
I think from that, I was sitting on maybe 3 or 4 songs, and those 2 for me were just the strongest. I think Sophist, is just that classic driving black metal sound. And then you switch it over to Vitriol, which is like something that's kind of off the wall for us because, for the most part, Through the Burning Glass is just kind of an homage to that, it's every song's driving, and this is kind of that bridge into what's going to be the sound in this next, I guess, era of Anshelm, like closing that chapter in Los Angeles. I'm here, so it's a whole new realm of influence, and this is that bridge where it's like, on one side we're leaving, this is where we're ending up. So then the next release being that, coming into fruition.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, let's not waste any time, Rock, real quick, and let's get into Vitriol right now on
Razor Radio.
1, 2, 3. All right, that was one of our bosses here, Razor Radio. That was David Ellison's new band, and their new album No Cover came out last Friday. It's a whole bunch of cover stuff. That was Fights, Nailed to the Gun. They also do Free Will Burning from Rob Halford, and it's got the guy that sings for The Last in Line singing on it, and it's got the other usual players that he's got in his band. And between that new Anshelm and Ellison, we heard Fuck the Facts with Allers. Great grindcore from fucking overseas. If you never checked them out, check them out. All right, let's get back in with our boy here.
Absolutely. Well, so what I've noticed, with the singles as opposed to the new record, obviously the production is a hell of a lot better. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. It's absolutely a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
Did you have the first demo that gave that one with the 2 songs?
Yeah. Well, and my question pertains to that. How did you guys approach the production aspect? Obviously through the look, the Burning Glass is obviously a little bit more raw of a production standpoint. So I'm just kind of curious. How,
certainly money. I mean, we were on a very tight budget for the record, so it's like you get what you pay for, and we had friends, help us. One of which who just recently passed away, our friend Josh Endicott. He helped record that. Another friend of the previous drummer, a guy named Cody Marler. And he worked at Wall of Sound Studios, Cody did. So we recorded some of it there. We recorded it at some of the previous drummer's house. We recorded some of it at my house. So it was like kind of all over the place. So it's like you didn't have like a set studio to like go in and, actually like cut something. This was like just, thrown around and stuff like that. Granted, for the budget that we had and what we did, I mean, it's a decent, foundation, so to speak. And then you get into it where, you're playing a little bit more maybe you're making a little bit money, more money career wise. So then you can invest that in the studio and better gear and stuff like that, and then who's actually working on that too, as far as, audio engineers go and stuff like that too. So definitely, I definitely like the sound quality of this. Yeah. Money,
well,
that's what it is.
An adage too, that a lot of the young bands, when they're struggling to put all their gear thing, and they look at the old guys in the scene, and their band may have never gone anywhere because they have good jobs. They all have the fucking nice hat stacks and fucking
sure.
They're like, oh, I wish we had that,
Exactly. And like at its core, like black metal has always been like, sort of like the bastard subgenre of metal, right? Like it's not like, you're looking at like Yngwie, dude, he's got like Marshall stacks for days. Like you're playing through a goddamn MG 10 or MG 15 or some shit, and you're like really trying to like push that, solid state gain and like, trying to get like a shrill sound or something, man. And I think that was what we were doing in the early days, where it's like we didn't have money, we're just playing shows, we're getting that out there, and that's not always, I don't know, you definitely progress, and this is that, this is that stepping stone.
You guys were also very good with the first demo and to what you're doing live, and that's the secret that a lot of people don't know about black metal. If you're not a real black metal head,
it's the live performances.
And they go in and record with Fisher Price equipment, man. What's his name from Dark Throne talked about recording the fucking guitar tracks back through headphones that were blown out, putting the mic up to the headphones. He's playing through that, and they recorded all shit. But when they go play live, they bring fucking the gear that just blows your face off. You're like,
oh yeah,
it's so shitty on the album.
Oh yeah, man. I was playing, live. I was playing through a Randall RG 100, man, and that thing was killer. Bare bones. I wasn't running any pedals, no overdrive or nothing, man. And it was just, 412s. We were rocking that. I think Iblis was playing something of maybe some kind of a Line 6 120 watt or something like that, and it sounded fine. I mean, through good speakers, it's going to sound decent, and I think even, playing with bands that have tube amps and stuff like that for playing in solid state gear. I mean, Randall is definitely, the pinnacle in that. And I love, Dimebag's tone, man. Like Dimebag's tone is like the fucking, I mean, Tanner you play on Randall equipment as well. I mean, that it's just, I mean, yeah, it's just fucking, I think that's like the Anshelm sound is definitely revolved around that Randall, just crunchy.
Yeah, you guys always blow. I've like 4 times, I think, and live, you always just blow me away.
Well, I want to get back to what you're saying with the record. You mentioned that obviously there's been many people that have passed away this year. It's fucked up.
It's tragic.
For our community. But one of the guys, I wanted to get a honest story from you because I know that you and him had played together.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So give me a good honest story. Like what. Obviously, we all, for those who don't know,
too many. He was a remarkable human being. So, we started playing together on like Sundays. Like that was like our thing. We would meet with the previous drummer, Zool, and he was Nerazim. He's like, I want to be Nerazim, and that was like, I guess, a computer character from a game that he had played because he was such a wizard, on computers, man. So he's like, I want to be Nerazim. So like we were jamming and stuff like that. And, I would set up this like little General Electric 1-track tape deck. And that's what became the demo is that. So it's like, we had some pretty decent equipment, but like that tape recorder was horrible. So I was like, you know what, like, I'm just going to release this, and when I started getting like a set lineup together and stuff like that, we didn't play together as much like that, but we were definitely, like hanging out and stuff like that, going to the Doll Hut, because his place was like right around the corner, or, playing FIFA. I mean, it, was never a dull moment with Hannes. And it was really hard to hear that, especially being so far away. I lost, like I mentioned, Josh, who helped us record our first record. It's just, it's so weird to stop being able to be there with their families, with, friends, it just was shocking.
Well, I'm sure Aiden took some pictures of you guys too at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure Adrian Mejia did. Yeah.
Absolutely. The last day of our first tour, the 5-Star Bar, where we played with Slege, he came out and he filmed, and he actually had Azog on a drum cam video. And you know, who does that? Who does
Only
that?
Adrian.
Exactly. He was fucking everywhere. He was everywhere. You know, fly on a wall everywhere. You know, and he documented. You know.
But that's the thing. Like, those people are like irreplaceable. You know, to our community,
one of a kind.
Like,
absolutely.
And I'll put me and Andy do that kind of stuff, documenting. Like, nobody does that shit. You know,
that's right.
It's usually important, and people need to fucking realize that. It's
absolutely.
not playing a fucking band anymore, dude. You know,
it's not. You know, and even with COVID, it's hard because, you know, there are some people that aren't able to keep doing that. You know, like several zines and you know, other podcasts and stuff like that are, you know, they just can't because of what's happening just personally. Like, you can't even enjoy, you know, the hobby or the passion of you know, supporting this counterculture. You know, I mean, it's I don't know, it's detrimental to the scene. Yeah, you know.
You know, right. Well, with it going off of Russell,
you know, you get those memories coming up on your Facebook feed and all that shit. And I've had 3 of them go by where he was giving me shout outs for letting me give him the pass and all that stuff to go front and all that and interview. And he was always good about saying thank you. And dude, they come up all the time. I didn't realize it after the last 10 years. And it's like, it always, damn, I'm like, I'm never going to see him again. And that fucking sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, but and going off of that, I think, you know, you kind of have to adapt or die, so to speak. And even the stuff that we're doing now, and everybody, you know, tuning in, and you know, with the video aspect and the audio aspect, it's just hugely important. And Adrian was that guy for, you know, the video and photography aspect. He was just everywhere, taking pictures of every band. Didn't matter if you sucked or if you were the best band in the world. He fucking treated you the same as
exactly
every single time.
And he wasn't there. He wasn't there for the scene. You know, he didn't really drink. You know, all that stuff. He was up front for every band, all that stuff. You know.
Yep. He was a true supporter,
and didn't ask for a dime in return. So
true.
You know. Let's Andy, what do you say? Let's get into some more jams.
I want to bring up a couple off-topic subjects real quick. The Grammy nominations came out today.
Oh.
For Best Metal Performance, you have Code Orange for Underneath.
Nice.
In This Moment for The In Between. Poppy with Blood Money. Body Count for Bum Rush.
Nice.
And Power Trip, Executioner's Tax, Swing of the Axe live. And it's like, I can appreciate what they're trying to do because Riley.
Yeah, that was another one, man. Wow.
That was unexpected.
Way unexpected.
But my personal opinion, I think Body Count should win it.
Yeah?
I agree.
The Code Orange record is fucking hard, though. Oh, no, the Code Orange record is fucking hard, though, man.
Juan Garcia, though, I mean, he's been in the business for 35 years.
Yeah.
And he believes that, in my humble opinion, Body Count wouldn't even be back where they were because he joined the band in 2000, you know, with the Suicidal cover and all that, where they've been. And Juan, he deserves it. He needs a Grammy.
Yeah. Throw him a bone.
And like I said,
pay the man.
It would be cool if Power Trip had got nominated in 2017 when Riley was still alive. So
yes. And that would have made more of an impact on the scene too, I think. But it is a good remembrance too.
But they'll probably give it to fucking Poppy.
He was a fantastic frontman.
Yeah. They'll probably give it to Poppy because they're this fucking trendy band right now.
I don't even know. Nah, I don't know.
I think in this moment. I think they'll give it to in this moment. But
bring that up. And one more thing I wanted to bring up was our friends at Banger TV, Sam Dunn. They're starting this democracy thing where they've got 4 pilots for new shows they're going to put up on there. And they're fucking very interesting. All 4 of them are. I suggest everybody goes over and checks them out because they're going to vote on those 4 pilots and they're going to make one into a regular show that airs. And they got one on the fabric of metal or like battle vests and shit. Another guy's doing collectibles candidate I think you'll really like. And another one on live gear and gear. And the third one was how to get into something. He does this thing, the first pilot, like how to get into black metal. And he goes through all the genres. All 4 shows are interesting, but the one I really like was the fabric about the battle vest and shit like that. But if you get a chance, Razor Nation or whatever, go out there and fucking check out the Banger TV stuff and vote on it because they're gonna make it into a regular series. And if I had known how big Banger TV was gonna get and all that stuff when I was hanging out with Sam Dunn back when he was hanging out at that metal show back 2012, 2000, he's like, I'm gonna start my own channel. You want to help us? And I'm not moving to Toronto. Fuck that.
Well,
I know because that shit's gotten big, man.
Hindsight.
Hindsight's 2020. You know, I've had a lot of those moments.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just saying, go over and check it out because the shows they put together, they're pro done. Because Sam, I mean, look at all the movies he's done. He knows what he's fucking doing. And like I said, I like to see all 4 of them be made into shows. But if you're gonna pick one, help him do it. And with that note, we're gonna get into one of your older tracks with Raggers Daft right now on
Razor Radio.
What? Oh, right. That was some Hemotoxin with their song Automation, which they just released. A Bay Area band just released a video for. Matter of fact, it was filmed at my old stomping grounds, the Phoenix Theater in Petaluma. I've snuck kegs in there for shows and shit. Great place, Tom Gaffey, if you love him. But we also have some big news with Hemotoxin. It seems Mike is going to join other good friends of ours, huh, Tanner?
Absolutely. Condition Critical, who Andy actually booked at the joint maybe almost 10 years ago that I saw. Only went one.
You're the only one.
So it was great. It was a great show. I'm just things come full circle, you know. So
yeah, well, yeah. In fairness to say, it would probably have been more well attended if they hadn't played the Whiskey the night before, 2 miles away from where the joint was.
It's true. It's true. But I'm very happy for him.
I did interview Mike from Condition at Maryland Death Fest in 2015, live from my hotel room. They came out and we got to hang out and party. It was fun. But I'm glad Bay Area fucking those guys coming together. It'd be a hell of a commute though, huh?
Well, they're probably. I mean, the technology. That's what we have going for us, you know.
Yep.
Now, Josh, what is the plan for these singles? Is there going to be a new record in the near future? Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
I began production on a new record. I have my players right now. I mean, I don't know if I'm, want to drop a title right now or something like that, but I've got my players. Right now it's just writing, and something to look forward to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, so another question I had was regarding, we mentioned the Joel Grind thing. I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah.
How you got to work with him and why you ultimately decided on Joel Grind to master.
Well, that was actually per your assistance, man. I mean, you
did you recommend him?
Yeah, Tanner recommended him. I mean, especially after what he's done with the Madras stuff. I mean, it seemed like the obvious choice. And I think the production value speaks for itself. And it's quality work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But still black.
He knows his black metal too. That's the thing, because Toxicoloca still has a little bit of
it's funny thing. Nobody ever says black metal's quality production. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, at a certain point, I don't know. You're never going to sound the same. You're never going to sound the same.
That's the idea.
You're always going to sound different.
Absolutely. Now, where can people find anything Anshelm?
You guys got Bandcamp?
Yeah, I mean, we have the Bandcamp. I mean, things are up on iTunes, Spotify. That's generally the place to find most of our music. But I mean, with most of these Bandcamp days and stuff like that, they generally end up being on Fridays and stuff like that. I think that's probably the safest place to download this. And eventually we'll have a physical release, but that's a hard thing right now because with a physical release, I mean, you can certainly send away for it, but I have better luck doing something like that when I'm on the road sweating it out and I can sell it. A digital release, I mean, you're at home, I haven't bought Blu-rays for a while either. I mean, I can press whatever button I want and I can download a movie, I can download a show, so that just seemed like the best option right now, to just kind of have that out there digitally so that way people can enjoy it. And, when things get back to normal and, I can go ahead and have physical product like that again, it's definitely, yeah.
So like to add, you can also hear a bunch of your tracks, and we're going to go ahead and add these two through the rotation on Razor Radio. So if you work or something like that, you just want to listen to metal music, your track's eventually going to come up because they all
Absolutely. Always play good stuff. Always.
Absolutely. Well, Pyralis, thanks so much again for coming on the show. And we had.
Tell us about Sophist, though, real quick before we get out of here.
All right. Well, I mean, that's just I don't know. It's a good what's that? 6 minutes just pounding fucking black metal, you know.
Well,
it's the Vitriol was more of like a evolving. This is just black metal.
Yeah, I mean, with the general idea of sophist, I mean, in like in ancient Greece, right? Like a sophist was like a teacher, you know, and looking to Satan as some kind of you know, leader, obviously, and teacher. You know, this is like this is the way. You know, if I can steal that, right. You know, from syndication, but you know, this is the way. God damn it, and this is the way you're going to be told. So it's like, you know, you're being force fed this, you know, pounding, driving, blast beat ridden, filthy, disgusting rock and roll heavy metal music, you know. And then with Vitriol, it's kind of like I was inspired by actually Andrew Cunanan. He was the guy that murdered Gianni Versace, and I was thinking, you know, I don't know, like he never, you know, had the opportunity to speak about any of that because he had killed himself. So I was like, well, you know, in the eyes of a murderer like that, you know, in Vitriol, something that's just kind of like a melancholy, it's just, I don't know. It's just this downer fucking song, you know. That's just fucking evil, you know. I mean, it's almost unsettling to hear. When I listen to it, it's unsettling, you know. And I think that, you know, there's got to be some kind of, you know, definitely finding melody in the dissonance, you know. But there's always something unsettling about, you know, black metal, you know, in the I don't know, harmonic chords, you know, finding that melody through the dissonance.
It's like 2020. Exactly.
Yeah, there you go. 2020.
Dude, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure.
I'd also like to add that after you hear Sophist, stick around, listen to the rest of the show, because we have Harlot from fucking Melbourne, Australia. Their album just came out last Friday on Metal Blade Records. It's their 5th one. They've been around for a long time. They're very fast, very tight thrash metal. We're gonna play their track Primeval. So right now it's Sophist on Razor Radio. See ya.